Alright friends, today we're going to go over notes 2.05. Don't forget you are following along. Some of these you're going to do on your own, and when you're all finished you're going to put these in your Algebra 1 folder that you created that second week of school. If you have not done that yet, you need to get doing that because I am about to put those grades in. Alright, so you are going to do the 2 warm-ups by yourself because, again, those are warm-ups, they're reviews. So I want you to try those 2 on your own, this one and this one. I think you can handle those without me. Of course, if you have questions, ask me. I would love to help you. Alright, so let's keep moving. Okay, example 1. Monk's gift card is loaded with $25. He plans to use his gift card to buy books that cost $4 each. So today we're going to be talking about domain and range again, but we're going to use domain and range in the context of the real world. How would I find the domain and range if I'm talking about a real life situation? Okay, so we're going to take a look. Read through this one, and when you were in elementary school, your teacher probably told you to highlight or underline important information. Sorry, my dog is being loud in the back. Make sure he's done. Okay, so what I would do is I would take a look at this word problem we just did. Monk's gift card is loaded with $25. He plans to use his gift card to buy books that cost $4 each. Well, it's important to know that his gift card had $25 on it, and it's important to know that the books are $4 each. And I can't remember what grade exactly you probably talked about this, but the word each should kind of trigger something in your brain and kind of tell you what you're going to do with that. What are we going to use to solve here? So we're going to write a function rule to model the situation. So to write a function rule, we just want to kind of figure out what we have here. Well, if he has a gift card of $25 and he plans to use his gift card to buy books, and those books are $4 each, some important things are we need to know what the cost of the books are going to be. Okay. What's the cost of the books? And we're doing a function, so our input is going to be X, which I'm going to say is the books, right? Books are going to be X. Because that's the number that's going to change, right? Like, we don't know how many books he's going to buy, so that's going to be our variable there. And we're going to have to try to figure out how many books he's going to get. Okay? Now, how much did it say each book was worth? $4. So we're going to say, well, if a book is $4 times each book we get, okay, and he's only got the 25 on the gift card, we're going to take that away, okay? So within that $25, he can get a certain amount of books. We're going to try to figure that out. Now it says identify the independent and the dependent variable. So think about it. What would be the independent variable? What is the thing that's going to be changing that's not dependent on another thing happening? The number of books. X. The number of books. Okay? That's the independent variable. We're going to figure out how many books we're going to get. Now, the dependent variable is going to be the cost, because that's going to change depending on how many books he's going to buy. Okay, does everybody understand why that would be independent and why that would be dependent? Alright, now let's get down to what we really want to know. What is the domain and what is the range? Now remember, domain, okay, is all possible values for X. And you can jot that down if you want to. You don't have to. But all possible values for X. Now, we can figure that out using that function rule that we created. So if the function rule is that the cost is going to be 4x minus 25, well, if it's all the possible values for x, that means all possible amounts of books that he's going to buy. We need to figure out how many books could he buy. Okay, well, that's not that hard to do because we're going to kind of solve it how we do a normal equation. So I'm going to get rid of that 25, right? Because we know that's how much he has. Okay, he can't spend more than $25. That's all he has. So let's figure out, okay, that leaves me with 25 is equal to 4x. But I need to figure out if they're $4 each, and I only have $25, so let's get rid of that 4 there. We're going to do 25 divided by 4. Remember, you can use Desmos. If you don't know 25 divided by 4 off the top of your head, use Desmos. Work smarter, not harder. Do what is going to make your life easier, right? On the STAR test, you get to use a calculator. So on notes, you get to use a calculator. Okay? So that means x is 6.25. But let me ask you a question. Can I buy a quarter of a book? No, I cannot buy a quarter of a book, but I could buy 6 books. Now, all possible values for x. So we know it can't be more than 6, but could it be anything before 6? Absolutely. So for the domain, we're going to do our little squiggle here. You could buy 0 books, 1 book, 2 books, 3 books, 4, 5, or 6 books because you have $25, and if they're $4 a piece, you could buy up to 6 books. So our domain is 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, let's move on to our range. Our range is our y values. Okay, y values, or the dependent variable. So for every input, what would be the output? Okay, so we're going to say our range. We're going to do our squiggly again. So if he bought, let me use if he bought 0 books, that's not what I wanted to do. If he bought 0 books, how much money would he be spending? Well, if they're $4 a piece, what's 4 times 0? $0. Okay? If he bought 1 book, well, they're $4 a piece. What's 4 times 1? 4. Okay? What if he bought 2 books? Well, 2 times 4 would be 8. What if he bought 3 books? Well, 3 times 4 is 12. Do you see kind of where I'm going with this? All right, keep going. So, if he bought, let me see where we're at. If we bought 4 books, could be 16. What if he bought 5 books? Well, that could be, what could it be? Okay, what if he bought 6 books? Well, that would put us right at 24, which would leave him with $1 on his gift card, but we can't buy a book with that, so we're going to stop right there. All right, do you kind of understand how we were able to find the domain and range from this real world problem? Now, could you have also taken that function rule and put it into your Desmos graphing calculator? Absolutely, you sure could have. But this is how we would write it out. Make sure you have this on your notes as well. All right, now these 2 examples. What is the domain and range of the function? Well, remember, your domain is all possible values for x. Well, there it is right there. It says -4, -1, 0, 2, 7. Now here's where we might get a little confused. It's trying to trick us up here a little bit. It wants the range, which is all your y values. Here's all your y values. Now, if I was figuring out the coordinates, I would know that this one right here is -4, 0, because it follows to that 0 right there. But when you're telling me the range, you can go in order, just like we did here. So we're going to say -5, 0, 1, 2, 4. Alright, I want you to do the same thing on example 3. Okay, you're finding the domain and you're going to find the range. My little squiggles are getting a little messy, but find the domain, find the range. Alright, let's look at the back really quick. Example 3, a teacher drove from school to the park. The graph shows the teacher's distance in miles from the park after driving for X minutes. You need to find the range, right? Remember, we're going to highlight what's important here. What is the range of the function? Well, what did we say range was? It's your y values. Okay, you're going to figure that one out on your own. Okay, and then last, this is a check-in. I want you to try your best on this one. Remember, you can use the Desmos. I will be putting your notes in the grade book this week. Make sure you're getting these taken care of. All right. Great job, everybody. And I will see you for notes 2.06.